Welcome to 0 to 60.
I'm Matt McChesney. I am the owner and operator of 60 Football Academy and 60 Equipment. Played at the University of Colorado from 2004. 6 years in the National Football League on both sides of football.
I'm Matt McChesney. This is 0 to 60. That is Coach Prime. We are at the University of Colorado. Brother, thank you so much.
All right. 0 to 60. We're rolling. All right, we're rolling 0 to 60 buffs here on a Tuesday at 11. I think it's 11 noon. I don't know what fucking time it is. Who gives a shit? It's Tuesday, baby, and it's daytime, and we're rolling. I'm Matt McChesney. Remember to follow us on YouTube, on Twitch, on social media, on Twitter, on Instagram, on TikTok. Shit is blowing up all over the platforms. Become a subscriber to the Dungeon family, to best $2.99 you'll ever spend, and make sure that you like and subscribe everything on here. We had, 1,200, 1,300 people in yesterday. We're going to have another great show today. Bucky, Deion Sanders Jr. is back this week like he is every week to talk shop. And we ask hard questions, and he's prepared for them. And we're going to get down. That's why you watch this show. I got a great message from Coach Prime this morning that I'll keep to myself. But I talked to Bailey about it before the show. It's pretty cool to get correspondence from the big man, knowing that, we're all in this together. Because, look, to think that I'm not biased is ridiculous. I obviously want Colorado to win, and I want us to do well. But I also, I've said this 100 times, if you can't criticize what you love in a constructive manner, do you really love it? So, Bailey, let's pay some motherfucking bills, and let's get rolling, baby.
Let's pay some bills right off the bat. This show is brought to you by BetOnline. BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything football. BetOnline is every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads to bet on during the games. Think you know your stuff? Get in on our $200,000 mega contest to pick 5 games against the spread every week for your chance at weekly prizes and a share of $200,000. When the game's over, head on over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slot games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Bet online, the game starts here and we roll. Matt, how you doing on this fine Tuesday?
Good, man. I got a lot of time to reflect yesterday, and, same thing this morning when your head's not wrapped around football and Sports Center and trying to figure out what we're going to do on the show. It's amazing with, where things come to you. You're sitting in court wondering, I wonder how they're going to block the outside zone. How are they going to run power? Like, that's usually not like normal, but that's okay. That's why I'm me. So look, Bucky comes on in about 15 minutes. Let's get through some of this logistical shit that we got to talk about first before we get Deion Sanders Jr. on. And look, he is as honest as they come. Yep. The reason we're doing this show together, number one, we're boys, but he knows that I'm going to ask hard questions. And this narrative out there that like Coach Prime doesn't appreciate or doesn't, do well with pressure and hard questions and things, it's just not true. So we're going to ask the hard questions, and trust me, after Saturday, they are going to be as tough as they should be. Yep. When you lose to Nebraska, put it like this. I never really had to handle these questions very much because if you lost to Nebraska, your season was over. Mm-hmm. Now you lose to Nebraska, and you've got 10 more games. So it's a little bit of a different dynamic being out of conference, but we will talk about all that as we go. Hit me with the first one, Bailey. What are we rolling with?
Let's roll with the first one. So I don't know if everyone probably saw this. It's a huge story. So Barstool and others reported this story saying Deion Sanders reportedly told the Colorado band that it can't play the fight song after Shedeur Sanders threw a touchdown so the stadium could play his song Perfect Timing instead. Now, Deion Sanders was asked about this in a press conference today and gave this comment. Take a listen here.
Start out with the main thing. Whoever reported that I told the band not to play the fight song, that's idiotic. Y'all know that. Like, when you saw that, that was a lie. We got to start having some kind of accountability to this. I understand that.
Thank you.
Matt, your thoughts on this whole situation, man?
it goes back to the whole personal attacks. It's never like Shador's footwork is bad. It's I don't like Shador. Fuck his rap song. He shouldn't make all that money. It's never, hey, Shiloh's drop on that cover too was pretty shitty. It's why is he so selfish? Why is it all about him? It's all same thing with Coach Prime. I'm the same thing with Travis Hunter. It's the same shit over and over again. So personally, I think this is ridiculous, bro. Do you understand how many songs are played at a football game?
Yeah, like come on.
Like this is what we're talking about. This is almost like it's almost fake news. Like this is horse shit. Come on, dog. I can't. It worked though. We're talking about it, and Barstool Sports got their clips. Yeah. Got their click. So to insinuate that this is look, I'm pretty sure they play Glory Colorado after we score, and then after they like take the PAT, the band will play the fight song. But there's tons of different. There's Hell's Bells going off and fucking all kinds of shit. I mean, the fucking Wu-Tang's in the corner performing for all I know. Just because you're not as cool as us doesn't mean you need to hate on it. But so I think this is ridiculous. Personally, last year when I was in the locker room for the opener at home after they beat TCU for Nebraska, and they started and like the DJ in the corner, which I also thought was pretty cool, put on All Eyes on Me, and then Deion and everybody came out, and like that's how they went out to the field. I thought it was one of the coolest fucking things I've ever seen in my life. So. Look, man, you know how I feel about the fight song. I think that they should sing it at a loud decibel, and I wish that they would let me go up there and teach everybody how to really sing it. Because the governor's got a version. Camden's got a version of the fight song that's extremely conservative and extremely white and extremely like, hey, we're singing the fight song, yay! And my fight song is fucking gutter, dog, and it is straight. We're jumping and pushing motherfuckers and screaming and yelling, and it is get down time. And I'm not giving it away until they let me come up there and do it. So I'm telling you, like the fight song that I know is rowdy as fuck, and the fight song that they know is like, fight, see you, yay, bankers. No, fuck that. So that's just me, since we're starting the conversation out today with fucking music.
Yeah, that's a very fair point.
What's going on in the world, dog? We just lost to Nebraska, and we're talking about music. Music.
It's crazy how that story comes out. People really believe it, and I read it. I took one glance at it, and I was like, "Come on, are we this gullible? Seriously, what the fuck?" That's what I said. So
no music anywhere for anyone.
Don't get it. Oh man. All right, so let's move forward here. The CSU matchup is Sheep Week. So let's continue to talk about this. So Coach Barnett, we had him on the show last week. He was asked about this matchup. He was asked about the Nebraska game. He had some interesting comments that I wanted you to give a take on. Take a listen here.
Electric, Mark. I've been here a million times, and I've never seen it quite like it was tonight. Everybody was ready for us except us. You know, when you look at the stats, it wasn't awful, but we didn't match the energy that was in this building, and Nebraska was ready for us. Had a good plan, and I'm afraid we're going to see this plan again. You know, just a tough day for the Buffs, and they've play in another environment or atmosphere like this, but they got to learn to play in this stuff. Do it. I mean, you can't play the game that way. You can't call plays. You know, how many times were we in an empty backfield with no backs? I mean, it was one-dimensional most of the game because we couldn't protect, but the best way for us to protect was probably an empty. And, we couldn't protect our quarterback, and he was scrambling for his life from the very first play. I see depth starting to develop, and both the first two games, we made good adjustments at halftime and really held both opponents. Huge game in Fort Collins, and I don't know if our guys know how big a game this really is. And so it's a bigger game to them than it is to us traditionally. But this has got to be turned. I mean, we have to make this a game because this is a must-win for us.
Matt, your thoughts on his comments?
And look, I agree with Coach Barnett. Obviously, you know, he's like a father to me. He was my coach for 5 years. And when he speaks, I'm fucking listening. But I can't say he's wrong. I will say that I have been to that building. I was there in 98. I was there in 2000. I was there in 02. I was there in 04. I was there in 08. I was there 2010 or 11, the last time they played a Big 12 game against each other. I was there in 18, and I was there the other night. And I agree, I've never seen it the way it was. Like, that shit was nuts. And I mean, you can tell people how crazy it is, but then you have to go experience it. CSU is not going to be that. CSU is going to be a home game for CU if we travel the way that I think we're going to. But to the players, this is their Super Bowl again. They are going to put all their shillings in this fucking pail. It is going to be, let's go hit them late. Let's go hit them dirty. They think we're soft. Like every narrative that has come up over the last 2 years about the University of Colorado and Shador and everybody else, they're going to try and play those narratives to get an advantage mentally. And I would say that last year they had a mental advantage on us until Shador said enough with his shit. Now, I will say this, and I'm going to ask Bucky this when he comes on too here shortly.
Yep.
Everybody think about this real quick. That last year's football team at halftime of the North Dakota State game and the Nebraska game, I bet you they would have scored 40 points on us in both games. They've given up 6 points in the second half in both games combined. They gave up no points to Nebraska in the second half the other day. They only gave up 21, and Bentley had a fucking pick in his hands that allowed another touchdown. So I don't think they're really far away on defense. And I will say this, and this is all I would say to the offensive coaches and all I would say to the team, honestly. Everyone close your eyes and think about this real quick. The defense goes into Nebraska and gives up 21 points and holds them scoreless in the second half. How does Colorado not win that game with the people that we have on offense? That should be the only question asked. And then anything that doesn't solve that problem doesn't need to be discussed. All the emotion needs to be drained out of it. All the feelings need to be drained out of it. Everything. It needs to be straight motherfucking business all week, because I guarantee you that's the way they're approaching it up in Fort Collins.
No doubt.
So I think personally that it couldn't have come at a worse time to lose. You never want to lose your rival, but it also couldn't come at a better time, because now we're going to really fucking see who wants to play, who wants to practice, who wants to compete, who wants to quit, who wants to bitch, who wants to jump off the fucking bandwagon. And, this is a perfect time to bring on Deion Sanders Jr. Bucky, my man, let's fucking roll. Bring him.
Deion Sanders Jr., welcome to the show. Thank you for joining.
What's up, brother? What's up, pretty good. How are you?
Not bad. I can't complain. All right. So look, let's get into this. Obviously, you're there field level the other day. I was there, observing the best that I could and just being in the environment. I'm gonna reiterate the same thing I just said to the chat and to everybody else. University of Colorado walks in. The defense holds them to 21 points. I know they gave up 28, but it was pick 6. And they hold them scoreless in the second half. In any world, do you see Colorado losing that game with the personnel we have on offense if that is what was said beforehand?
Nah, it's just, I don't know. It's just a bullshit showing, bro. It was just terrible. Just being real with you, that shit was terrible. It was embarrassing.
So when we look at it from the fan base, the narrative, from the outside looking in, and we've talked about this, obviously, we spoke on Sunday, and, your dad sent me a great message this morning, which it makes me respect that son of a bitch even more, the way that he handles shit like this, because he takes everything, he's always like at the point of attack with all of it. And that's my next question is it now time for Coach Prime to just be at the point of attack with literally everything? I understand that a good coach has to trust his people. But I'm not saying he doesn't trust them, but I am saying that his voice, it's louder than Coach Schumer's voice. It's louder than Coach Loswell's voice. It's louder than Coach Livingston's voice. It's louder. It's the loudest voice in the country when it comes to college football. So what do you think needs to happen in that regard?
I talked to you in detail about et cetera, but on Sunday, before meetings and even after meetings and practice, we had just a long conversation. I'm gonna tell them a lot of things a lot of people aren't gonna tell them. I'm gonna be a different type of honest than a lot of people will be, and I get it. Some people aren't in a position to say this and that. but I'm his son. So, you know, we could talk to each other different. And I just, you know, I'm gonna sum it up by I just told him one thing, and you know he's very similar to me. I'm very similar to him. Just being around him more and more, it's like dang. And now I see what a lot of people are saying, like that I do, like different flaws that I have or different just positives that I have. I could see that. You know, I see him do a lot of that, and I just told him, I'm like, bro, sometimes you just wait. You see everything. You know, you see a lot of things, but sometimes you might wait too long to say something or do something about it. So I just said, man, look, you can look at me as, you know, the sign. If you pray to God for a sign or the messenger from God, like, look, bro, do something about it. Whatever you see, whatever you're seeing, whatever you don't like or dislike, do something about it. Say something and fix it. Don't let it go on any longer. You know, sometimes he'll let things go on until it just like till it just really bothers him, until he's just had enough. Instead of like instead of addressing it right off the bat, I'm like, nah, bro, go ahead and address it right now. Whatever it
And
is.
look, he's a great leader, right? And he puts a ton of trust in the people that he brings around him, which is what good leaders are supposed to do. They're supposed to trust their people. And I look at that and go, okay, if this is the situation that I find myself in as an assistant coach or a player, and I'm getting the leeway to be myself on top of being able to go ball, because usually, like, you know, the way college coaches act, like, we need robots out there. And Coach Prime doesn't want robots. He wants individuals that can play into the system, and you can run with your individuality, and you can also run with the system when we can all win.
Yes, sir.
At what point does he need to just slam that door and go, look, the individual shit is done. This week is about the team, and we've got to just everything has got to just button up, and we got to go to work, because this is the kind of week, and we were just talking about this beforehand, where, you know, now Colorado is going into an environment where it's going to be like a home game for us, but at the same time, we're going to be the favorite. You know, it's going to be, you can't see you get right at CSU, and they're going to be looking at it like they have nothing to lose. So, I mean, do you think that this week, I mean, just based on the practice today and your viewing of it, you think this week will be a little bit different with the players' mentality on top of the coaches?
It should be. You know, in life, what are you dealing with? Just people in general, females, just business, whatever. In life, you ain't shit until proven otherwise. So right now it's like we're in a prove otherwise situation. Just being real with you. You gotta do something. You gotta take out all that frustration, take out all that whatever on these people. Like you gotta really go prove yourself. You gotta have that chip on your shoulder. You gotta have, and not just the players, the coaches also. You know, show you can do this, show you can do that. You want to show and prove situation, and you just gotta that's just how it's gotta be. You gotta go turn up, and don't even let people feel like they could play with you. Like don't even let people feel like, excuse my language, but they can fuck with you. You know what I'm saying? You can't let people feel like they can fuck with you. Then they'll fuck around and really do it. You know, they'll you
Amen, they
get
will.
yeah. So it's like you gotta impose your will on people, and you gotta crush your enemy totally, and that's how it has to be. And if we didn't have that mentality, we should have it now.
So one of my favorite quotes of all time is written on the board at the gym, and it's something that every morning, I'll do it at 5 a.m. again tomorrow. I try and always pan up to it while people are sleeping and dreaming about success. We're in there working, but it's, you know, every battle is won before it's ever fought. And I truly believe that the preparation you put in and the hours you put in before the battle makes the battle easy, or it makes the battle hard if the other team maybe prepared better than you, or whatever the case may be. That being said, moving forward here with this University of Colorado football team, and knowing that preparation each week in the NFL changes. And I only bring that up because I look at our staff and I see nothing but gold jackets and NFL coaches. The offensive coordinator is a 30-year OC and head coach in the NFL. He's been around every system and every player, so on and so forth. So in your opinion, as an ex-offensive player, how easy is it for the defense to key on us doing the same thing over and over and again? But then how hard would it be if we did come out and change week by week, scheme by scheme? Because that honestly, I'm not saying I expect it, because my expectation, who gives a shit? But there's part of me that's like, okay, offensive coordinator, if something doesn't work, let's change that shit. Like Shador's smart as fuck. Travis Hunter's smart as fuck. Horn's smart as fuck. We got smart dudes all over the field. In your opinion, why the reluctance to change when things don't seem to be working in our favor?
That's a hell of a question. That's actually the greatest question on earth right now, to be real with you. And it's a question everybody wants to know, bro. And that's all I can say.
Yeah.
That's,
So
that's a,
look,
that's
it's
a hell of a
going. I
question.
think that the actions this week will be the biggest part, right? In practice, if out there, filming and doing what you do on the practice field, I love that you are so vocal and so engaged in practice too. You're not just filming. So okay, so let me ask you this then. CSU, for me, it was always our opener or like second week, very similar to this. It was always contentious. I knew as a Colorado kid what it was. I knew the fight I was getting into. Now, after last year's game, I know that you guys and everybody up there that was there knows the fight they're getting into. What do you want to see from the guys out on the field this week going into it, other than just, we got to go out and assert our will, from a just perspective of like attention to detail and doing things correctly and the ability to not believe the bullshit they hear? Because one thing that I didn't have to deal with was social media. I didn't have to deal with some fucking guy sitting in his basement covered in Cheeto residue, jerking off Chicago Bear hack style, fucking commenting, and everyone's like, "Oh, this guy's right," when in actuality, like his opinion doesn't matter. So social media, in my opinion, like it puts people that are not fucking supposed to be on the same plane next to each other, and everyone's like, "Oh, they're equals." So
Sure.
I just, what do you want to see from this group this week on the practice field, in the meeting room, and then from a leadership perspective, Shador and Travis and Jimmy, and I'm going to say Seton in there, because I would guess that Seton is a pretty vocal and active and physical dude at practice. He's not just going to sit back and I don't care if he's a freshman or not, he's not just going to sit back and take this. So what would you like to see from that group? And I'll shut up. I know it was a long question.
Honestly, the people you name, it's like, say Jimmy during a game, say even when the defense is out there, his helmet is in his hand or his helmet's on the bench, whatever, and he's there yelling the whole time, motivating the defense. You could look at it, say later in the game or earlier in the game, whatever it is, before halftime. Yeah, it's idiot. We're getting blown out 28-0. He caught a pass. It's idiotic. You should have ran out of bounds. But he's like, bro, fuck that. I'm a war. Like, I'm about to go try to truck somebody. I'm about, like, he wants to get involved. He wants to get active. Like, the people you name, they have that mentality. They have, it's just, we should be naming a lot more people. So
Yes, we should be.
so those people, it's like you're kind of seeing what you want to see out of them. So what about we got to see that out of everybody. And you're telling the defense, like, that's why, bro, I damn near lost my voice this weekend and today in practice. It's like, bro, fuck recording. I'm telling the D line, whether it's scout D line or whatever, because my dad made a lot of things live today, like I just told you on the phone. Because he's like, bro, we not dealing, it's live. We tackling, we doing whatever. You know what I'm saying? We gonna toughen up. We gonna fix these problems. And I'm telling D line, bro, whoop they ass. Let show us that this person can't get the job done, so someone else could be in there, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, impose your will starting today. You know what? So it won't be no faking or flogging. No, let's handle this right now instead of let's handle it on Saturday. You know, so everything about this week is just different. From the coaching to the practicing to everything. It's from the top to the bottom, it's just different. You know that shit gotta be fixed and things gotta happen. And that should be happening.
So look, we walk into CSU for Saturday night. It's going to be another nationally televised game. All eyes are going to be on to see how we respond. Let's be real. Nobody's turning in to watch the sheep. Everybody's turning in to watch the Buffs. And that's one thing. After I say that, I want to take this opportunity real quick to just let you know, but also let the chat know, and all the fans, and Bucky and Buck and Bailey, you need to cut this motherfucker. And Buck, this is some real shit I'm about to say. I think people have forgotten really, really, really fast what 1-11 felt like, what Carl Durrell felt like, what Mel Tucker felt like. Like, I always say this, but people used to walk up to me on the sideline the 1-11 year, or like the 4-8 Carl Durrell year at the beginning of his tenure. And fans used to walk up to me, and I'd be on the sideline, and no one's out there. Obviously, no one gives a shit. And, you know, the stadium's half full, and we're parading out guys that are not going to get drafted. And look, I understand Nate Landman is starting at middle linebacker for the Falcons, and he's an NFL player, and he's on those teams. I get it. But let's be real. We had one or two guys that were NFL players, and then a bunch of bankers. No offense to the bankers. But I think people, especially in Buffalo country, you've really forgotten what it was like. When people walk up to me and say, why do you support this shit? And I look at them and go, because one day it's going to be great again. And I don't want to be the guy that just supports when it's good. That's why. So
That's appreciated, bro.
I'm real sick of the CU faithful, and I don't give a fuck if you like me or not. I don't know you motherfuckers. I bleed black and gold. I don't bleed Colorado red, white, and yellow. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm loyal to that place almost to a fault, and I like it. I like where I stand. So personally, I think everybody really needs to step back and understand that the University of Colorado is relevant again. We have NFL draft picks on the field. We have a Hall of Famer as our head coach. We've got guys all over the sideline that are Hall of Famers. We've got a ton of eyeballs on us, and whether it's good or bad, they are there and focused. And people should be embracing this, not the minute we hit fucking adversity. Because I'm not going to say the first year losing 6 games by 1 score is adversity. That's a lesson, and it was learned. The minute we hit adversity against our rival at Nebraska, a team that we beat 36-14 a year before in Folsom, everyone's jumping fucking ship. Everyone wants to fucking leave. Everyone should be fired. No one can play. Shador can't play in the NFL. Travis Hunter isn't this. Jimmy Horn's not that. I mean, what the fuck? So I think if I was on that team and I was in that room, it would be very simple. Lock the gates, shut the doors, fuck our fans, fuck their fans. Everyone's a fucking target this week. I don't give a shit when anyone says it's all about us. We just need to come together and go do our fucking job. And then next week, all the pressure will alleviate if we do our job, because everybody in the chat and all the fans are just fucking mental cripples that can't handle their own emotions. So again, if you really think that 2 years ago, before they hired Coach Prime, that Colorado was in a better position than they are now, and moving forward into the future, you need to turn your buff card in. You're a fucking idiot. You're an idiot. So I just wanted to get that out there, because I hear a bunch of this narrative from our side. From our side. Like, guys, regardless of struggle or game plan or losing, you're still a Buff and a Buff fan and a season ticket holder and a faithful. The pride and tradition of the Colorado Buffaloes will never be entrusted to the timid of the week, and y'all sound timid and fucking weak. I'm never going to get mad at the players or the coaches for failing. That somebody's going to lose and somebody's going to win. Somebody's going to be pissed off for a week and somebody's going to be happy for a week. We just lost to our rival at home. It was the biggest game for them in fucking history since 2000 or since 2001 when they played in the national title game. Facts. I know this because Will and Adam and all these fucking Nebraska people were walking up to me like, this is incredible. The atmosphere is nuts. And I'm like, yeah, that's because we're here. So
I mean?
let's just be real deliberate in what we're saying here. If you actually think that for some reason in your fucked up brain that the University of Colorado would be better off without the last 2 year and a half and going on 2 years and the future of Coach Prime and what we're doing at the University of Colorado, not only from a college football perspective, from a cultural perspective, from black head coaches getting more opportunity to everything that goes along with this, I'm sorry, but you're going to have to miss me with this bullshit.
No, 100%, bro. And he has a quote that says, "Fans only blow when you hot, bro." And that's apparent, you know. Whether
God,
it's
that is fucking fans only blowing your hot. That's true. That's true. My fan's on in the corner. I'm sweating like a orange.
nah, and that's just the name of the game, you know. And you just got to use all of it as motivation, you know. You seeing your people switch up on you, you know, people are warranted to be mad, of course, bro. I'm mad as hell. That's why I'm not on here smiling and shit like I usually
Nothing
do.
wrong with being mad.
Yeah, like so, but you know, we're on to a new opponent, and you just cool. It just is what it is. You see how it is, you embrace it, cool. Let's go do something about it. But you know, it's always gonna change. It is what you know. We gonna win again. We gonna have a good season. We gonna this and that's gonna happen, and everyone's gonna act like they never got mad or they never hit.
Exactly.
That's just the way it is, bro. That's part of the game, and
Well, as you know, as a player, and your dad knows, and everybody knows, anybody that's played knows. And there's all these people that played that forget when they stop playing. It's like they stop, and this maybe it's a fault of mine, but I can't stop being a football player, and it's why I do what I do, and it's just the way I am. I can't help it. But it's almost like people forget how motivating losing is.
oh, for sure.
There's nothing more motivating on this earth than underachieving or losing or looking bad when you know you're good. And there's nothing more motivating than, oh, I get another opportunity Saturday and no one thinks I'm going to be able to do it. Okay. And now you get to play the underdog role, being the favorite walking in. So I think that CU's in a great position right now to go out and just prove all the haters wrong and fucking go chop these people up on Saturday. What are you looking at from CSU just based on last year's game and how contentious it was and how crazy it was? What are you looking at moving on to the sheep here going into Saturday night?
You know, today was game plan day for the team, so I don't want to say specifically, but you know they do good things. You know they got a cool quarterback, they got a hell of a receiver, and cool running backs. The safety's actually all right, pretty good. You know, the one that knocked Travis out the game, whether I want to say that or not. We just gotta do what we're capable of doing, bro. It's really like it's about us, bro. If we go out there and just excuse my language, we go out there and be hoes, then it's gonna be what it's gonna be. But if we go out there and do what we're expected to do, then we all know how it should turn out, you know? And that's it's just really about us. It's not really even about them. You know, I'll let them talk about and handle the game plan. I'll talk to you about that privately, but we just gotta do what we gotta do, bro. We just do what we're capable of doing, call what we're capable of calling, and we know how it should be.
Well, Buck, look, brother, I appreciate you coming on the show again today and taking your time, and we'll talk to you again next week after a good dub up in Fort Collins, and I'll see you up there. I'll text you later today about some logistical stuff moving into the week. But look, bro, this is a big week, as you know, and I was just talking to Bailey about this, but are people really like upset about playing music at a stadium?
That's funny. You know, my dad called me last night at like 9 p.m. and I looked at him like, I'm not about to answer this. But then I'm like, all right, let me go ahead and answer. And he was like, bro, these people really think I just sat there and taught these people not to play the fight song and to play Shador. It's just like
there's 9 million songs played at the stadium, dog.
Yeah. It's funny, but at the same time, it's like getting weird. It's like
it's weird personal. Like it's It's not about football anymore. It's somebody's always got some personal shit to say in there. Like, oh, he's getting rid of the fight song for a rap. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, it's like there's a whole list of things they created and said, all right, let's put this one out right now. Let's put this one out. It's like, bro, and there's no consequence for it. There's nobody applying pressure to it. There's like the dude said, there's guns in the locker room because people said who's the most straps on the team, whatever. It's like there should be consequences for that, but it's
there
not.
should be.
But instead of consequences, it's okay. Let's give this person more interviews. Let's give this person more. It's really just weird, and that's really like where whatever people believe in. That's where spirituality comes in. You got to stay prayed up. You got to stay this and that because it's daily attacks. So it's like, and that's what you try to get the team to understand. Like, bro, this shit's bigger than football. Like we're not only playing against CSU, you playing against the world. You know what I'm saying? The world wants to see you fail. Every time I pick up my freaking phone, if I do get on Twitter or Instagram, whatever, you see bullshit about you or your dad or your brothers every second of the day.
Every day.
No matter what you say. I could tweet God is good, and they're gonna say some crazy stuff. They're gonna respond back some. It's just like you see that all day, every day. So like you said earlier, like bro, just don't even get on that shit. That's what you telling the team. Like, don't even look at it. And and some people that can't handle that, bro, let's go do something about it. Cause you could easily turn a hater into a fan easily.
And that's the goal. That is the goal, my
1,000%.
friend. I'm trying to turn everybody in the comments is talking shit. We love you. Come on over to the good side. It's okay. I know you hate yourself, and that's really why you're doing this.
No, 1,000%.
I appreciate you, brother. I'll be in touch later today. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday, and big day tomorrow, Wednesday, getting ready for the sheep, and I can't wait for Saturday, brother. All the best to you and your family, and as always, go Buffaloes.
Love my brother. I appreciate y'all, man.
Peace.
Thank you for joining.
Bailey, sorry I didn't let you ask any questions. I was talking a lot. I apologize.
It's all good. It's all good. Hey.
Somebody in the comments was like, Bailey, blink.
No. Sometimes you gotta understand when you're doing this type of things, you let the flow happen. That's how it goes. That's how it goes.
Well, look, I saw a comment in here. I got it, and this dude's asked like 10 times, and I can't find him. Why don't you break down film like you do the NFL stuff? That guy. If you can find him, throw that up there. Or if you're still watching, dog, comment again and let's throw you up.
Yeah, I don't know.
I guess the reason I haven't done it yet is the TV copy for North Dakota State was it's hard to break down if that makes sense. Like there's no back view, there's no all 22 view. Like it's from the side and they're switching in between the sideline and fucking it's every time I try to like draw something up, they would switch to a fan or a coach. Yeah. And like it was just a pain in the ass. And then I went to the Nebraska game, and if you have an all 22 version of the CU North Dakota State game or the CU Nebraska game, I would fucking love to watch it, and I would break it down, send that motherfucker to me, and I will absolutely talk shop. But I was at the Nebraska game, so to be honest with you, I've only watched maybe a half of the TV copy, and it was at 3 in the fucking morning, and I was asleep like 15 minutes into it, so don't get mad at me. I'm trying to forget about that bullshit too. But I would love to break it down, but it's hard. There's no college football app, so I can't just get on the college football app like I do the NFL app and start breaking down stuff. So
no doubt. All right, well let's break down a couple more things. So it is Rams week, and I just got to break the mood here, Matt. I just got to show this. See if I get sound.
Vickers is behind him.
And
I just had to show that, Matt.
All right, hold on. I'm going to text him right now and say, "Hey, motherfucker, when are you coming on the show?" So hold on. Hold on. Hey, motherfucker, when are you coming on my show this week? ? Keep in mind I have to write ? And we got to talk about shearing some sheep, period.
Oh, man. Matt, you are hilarious. That's
It's just, that's like my best friend in the world, dog. And every year he comes out for at least one game. So last year he came up for the Nebraska game, right? Mm-hmm. And I see him after the game, and I'm like, Vic! And he's like, Chaz, and he comes 30 yards running and jumps on my head. And he's squeezing my head so hard, my sunglasses broke. I had a bloody nose, and I'm like, Vic, you're choking me. So, Doug, you can call me a homer in the comments. I am a fucking homer. This is the only place I ever wanted to play my whole life. I committed when I was 14 years old, dog. Coach Neuheisel brought me and my parents in the night of 15 when I was a fucking sophomore in high school. They played Baylor when they wore the gold uniforms. Mm-hmm. And he goes, yeah, we really liked you in camp. Your film's outstanding. We're going to offer you. And I was like, I'm committed immediately. And he's like, you don't want to go on? You're a sophomore. And I was like, right now. And then right when he left and went to Washington, Tricky Ricky tried to give me money and all this other shit to go to Washington. I didn't even take a trip. I immediately committed to Barnett, never even met him. So, yeah, you're fucking right. I'm a homer, dog. And I am going to be in Canvas, and I'm either going to be in the stadium roaming around trying not to fist fight all the CSU farmers, or I'll be on the sideline. That's hopefully where I'm at so they can protect you from me. That's not the other way around. That was such a dick thing to say, by the way. But, like, I am a homer. I really want CU to be where they were when I played, at least. And think about this: we went 8-5 my senior year. We lost 2 games in overtime to Missouri and Texas A&M, and I was pissed as fuck. I thought that we underachieved at 8 wins. So I don't know what you want me to do about I didn't have fucking Pat Shurmur on the goddamn show. I've called him out for 2 days straight. I called him out to Coach Prime. I called him out to Buck. I've called him out a million fucking times. Coach Prime saw the goddamn – here, I'm just going to read what Coach Prime fucking put up and it said to me today, okay? Right there. You see that? That says Coach Prime, all right? Thank you, my man. I appreciate you. When we're trash, I expect you to say it, but when we're not, I expect that too. Was I not super grateful at the beginning of the year, right? This is what I'm talking – last year when everybody jumped to me about UCLA – this is what I'm talking about with Coach Prime. He's a football guy. He expects criticism when they don't do well, and he expects you to pat him on the back and love them up when they do. Mm-hmm. But there's a difference between criticism constructively and coaching and what fans do. Fans take this shit so fucking personal. Right here, all I ask is for everybody to approach shit with honesty and not personal attacks against my team, my kids, or me. You don't think that the fight song thing's a personal attack? You don't think that Whitlock talking shit's personal attack? His cognitive ability is fading. Dog, and again, I know people are going to get mad at me because I just called out Whitlock, and I don't give a fuck. So, like, again, I love you, Bailey. It's what it is. It's what it is. I like to think that I am the most critical Buffalo out there. And that is exactly why Bucky comes on the show, because he knows we're real. We're not just over here trying to blow him for likes. Mm-hmm. And you've heard the conversations behind the scenes, Bailey. Is that not what's happening? Facts, right?
Yeah.
So, like, listening to all these other shows speculate and talk shit, and then, like, it's all just their opinion. Yes, a lot of this is my opinion, but a lot of it is based on fact. And I know what I'm looking at. And look, hey, Forest Dweller. Again, your name is Forest Dweller, which means unless that's your real name, you live in the forest and jerk off a lot, guaranteed, or fuck sheep or something. I am a nut writer. You're right. I love CU with a passion. So it's okay. It's fine. You can hate on me all you want. You're just a nut writer. It's okay. It's fine, bro. It's the entire situation now will change when they win in Fort Collins, and then they host Baylor. If you can get a win there, you're 3-1, and you're moving into UCF, which is a massive fucking game on the road in Orlando. So, Look, bro, I'm not going to sit here and act like the world is fucking ending just because they lost a game to their rival. And again, they beat them 3 of 4 in this round. Mm-hmm. We scheduled them 4 times and beat them 3 of 4.
Yeah.
Last year, they hammered Matt Rule in Nebraska at Folsom. This year, Nebraska beat the shit out of us in Lincoln.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know what? That's the way it is. So we've got to fucking handle it like goddamn professionals and men and buffaloes and not sheep.
Yeah.
And move forward. We can't operate like sheep and turn on each other and everybody just bah, and panic. We need to run through the storm, not away from it. That's the beauty of a buffalo. A buffalo will look at a storm and run through it, knowing that going through the storm will get us through it quicker than running away from it. A sheep will run away from the storm. We ain't running away from shit. So again, all you guys that have a problem with me, I'll see you up at the Baylor game and I'll sign an autograph for you and your kid, and I'll take your wife on a date. Shut the fuck up.
Well, speaking of sheep, let's go ahead and preview the Colorado State game for these last 15 minutes. So Coach Jay Norvell was asked about the Colorado wide receivers, and he had some interesting comments, different than previously, in my opinion. Take a listen.
With Colorado's speed and playmaking ability, how do you plan on keeping the defense disciplined all the way to the ends and all like that?
Yeah, they're I think they might have faster receivers than Texas. I mean, those kids can all run. We got to do a good job of playing good, solid pass defense. They haven't really hurt people much with the running game, so that's what they want to do. And we have to do a good job of understanding how they try to attack coverages and how we can defend them. And so that's going to be a big part of the game is not giving them explosive.
Matt, go ahead and
I'm not laughing at Jay Norvell, dog. The fucking dudes in the comments are hilarious. They even the guys that are talking shit. It's pretty fucking creative. They got some good shit, man. I got it. As a guy who loves talking shit and gets in trouble for it constantly, and is always talking shit, always. Like I had refs coming up to me in games like, "You can't say that 16." They'd be like, "Whatever, Bob. Shut the fuck up." Like, I really respect some of this shit. There's some good stuff over here. But Norvell's right. They need to play great pass defense, and they might be as good as the receivers at Texas. The problem is we can't run the football. So I'm not going to say we can't.
Mm-hmm.
We're not committed from a scheme perspective to running the ball. And I see a lot of people like, well, Shador changes the play. Okay. If he's changing the play, that needs to be nipped in the butt by the coaches if he's making the wrong call.
Right.
If he's making the right call and missing the play, that's something else. That's the right call. We just missed the play. I always say to my guys that I coach, if we're all wrong together, we're all right. And that's true. If all 11 of us are wrong in the same direction, I guess we're all right and the play just sucked. So you're not going to win every rep. A lot of this is fan narrative that it's only one guy's fault. It's a combination. Look, everybody has to take a bite of the shit sandwich here. Shador didn't play well. Travis didn't play well. Jimmy didn't play well. Seaton didn't play well. The rest of the offensive line got obliterated. There's going to be major changes on the O-line this week from a personnel perspective, by the way. I ain't telling you what it is. You can watch on Saturday, but there's guys being changed and there's competition in the room, and Lodeholt is pissed because there's immense pressure on him now. They need to change. Yeah, I understand they're in 10 personnel all the time. I get it. They need to change that shit. Even if you're in 12 personnel, tight end, heavy scissor, and you're in the shotgun or the pistol, you can do so much with that tight end and the scissor player to block people or just get in the way. I don't need fucking Dan. Well, I do need Dan Grahams out there. I wish we had a Dan Graham, but I don't need Dan Graham in order to go block motherfuckers. By the way, that was a real fun gig trying to not fucking get dumped by Dan and Vic and Dre. Fuck. But that's another reason why people on the teams I played with were so tuned in all the time and good. Because if you didn't show up to practice ready, you got fucking baptized. Mm-hmm. So I like hearing that they're live in practice and that people are fucking hitting each other and popping pads in practice and there's attitude, and that's what we need. And that's not just like fake football bravado, guys. That's real. Yeah. We need that shit. We need it like we need fucking oxygen. If you heard Joel Klatt when he came on the show, Bailey, what did he say? I need to feel the assistant coaches.
Yeah, he needs to feel.
I need to feel the players on the field. Mm-hmm. Well, God damn it. Last week, I don't know if you felt anybody. This week, you're feeling fucking everything. And that pressure is even going to crack us or make diamonds, and that's a fucking fact.
Let me ask you. So there's a lot of people coming at Colorado saying these changes can't be made in a week. Can you kind of counter that and say why that's not true?
All right. So look, I would say that if you don't think the changes can be made in a week, you've never been in a meeting room. Okay? There's only so much you can do with personnel groupings and over, under, even, odd, bare, jam fronts. Like, there's only so much you can do with 12 personnel, 13 personnel, 21, 22. Watching the Niners last night, they are putting in something. They don't do the same thing over and over again.
Nope.
They put in some, like, they had Juszczyk lined up in the slot once. Well, he's a fullback. So that's 21 personnel, but your fullback's in the slot. Later in the game, they took him from the slot and motioned him back to I King, which is the front side of – and now all of a sudden you're taking your slot who's covered by a linebacker or a nickel, and you're motioning back over, and it forces communication through everyone. While they're communicating, we snap the ball, and all of a sudden everyone's reacting rather than proactive.
Yeah.
So you can confuse the defense, and you can put immense pressure on them to get their calls correct with motion and personnel formation discrepancies that are different. So that is my plight to the coaches.
Yeah.
That was my plight to Coach Prime. That's my plight to Coach Shermer, who I'll never talk to that guy, but whatever. Other than like if the coaches get mad at me when they hear this, because they will, somebody will show somebody and somebody will get pissed off. I'm directly talking to you. You shouldn't be there. If you're angry at me, you shouldn't be coaching at Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
Well, why don't we focus all of this negative energy into fixing the goddamn problem and stop with everyone's emotional bullshit and feelings and all? Like, you want Shedeur to play in the system? Give him a system that makes sense.
Yeah.
You want him to run the ball? Okay. You tell me how we're going to run the ball out of 10 personnel. Yeah. I think it's fixable if you just change your personnel groupings and then go teach it. Go to 9-on-7 an individual drill and run power, counter, and trap 150 goddamn fucking times. And then go to 9-on-7 and run it 30 times straight at the scout defense and the ones at this point, the fucking ones, and see if it works. And I guarantee you it'll work, because the more reps you get, the better you do. The fact that they don't run trap, even out of 10 personnel, is astounding to me, because trap is how you kill interior pass rushers.
Oh, yeah.
And the interior pass rushers are murdering the guards. Murder! And look, Seaton and Brown weren't very good either, but no one was good up front last week, let's be real. But again, you can help your guys. As a defensive lineman and an offensive lineman, it's nice to have a little bit of fucking help every now and then.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. I agree with you. Let's talk about them defensively real quick. Going into the Colorado State game, kind of just preview that. What are the keys for their defensive success this week? What do they got to do to shut down CSU?
What's with my camera, dog? Why do I look like – why does it keep doing that shit?
Because you're in the sun, I think.
In the sun? I'm in my fucking living room. All right, so keys. Change.
Yep.
Change.
Fuck yeah.
Change. 12 personnel. Give me a fullback on the field. Line up in fucking full house and fucking hammer the ball. Move the pocket with your athletic quarterback. I didn't say fast. I said athletic. I thought Dan Marino's pocket presence was incredible. He was extremely athletic in the pocket, slow as fuck. So move the pocket, sprint, boot, throwback, anything that's misdirection that we don't do. Can you imagine?
Wait, hold on. I asked you defensively. Because
what they're going to, just switch to offense, and then we'll do defense next. Sorry.
Go ahead.
So, sorry, I heard you wrong.
It's all good.
All of the things that we've talked about all week up to this point, it's only Tuesday, of course, but all that stuff they've got to implement. They have to. Yeah. And this, we can't do it because we didn't do it in spring or in fall camp is ridiculous. If that's the excuse, the kids can't handle it, well, then you can't coach it. The coaches can't coach it, well, then you're fired.
Yeah.
Fuck your feelings. You're telling me, so I'm asking you to do something and you're telling me you cannot do it, yet your job is to do it. You're fired.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, but that's the way football works, dog. You can fucking call the HR department and CU's football department and see if they give a fuck. They don't. So defensively, I think that they've got to double Horton and they've got to heat up Nicolosi. And I don't think the crossing route shit will
out for them, but I'm not 100%
sure. The quarterback's out.
No, Horton, the receiver.
Oh well, if he's out, they're really fucked. All right, but I will say this:
confirm me on that. Let me look.
Yeah, well then, shit, man, you're the one that said it. I will say this: if they prepare for crossing routes and the same thing they got last year from Norvell, they're going to get caught again. You can't. Watching last year's tape and thinking they're going to do the same thing is ridiculous in Colorado. So I'm just saying, I would expect Norvell. He's probable, so he'll play. I would expect Norvell to come out and try and change the way that they did things last year, but also do the same thing. If we couldn't cover a tight end last year, let's see if they can cover a tight end again. If they couldn't stop the run last year, which I don't know, look up the running numbers in that game. I don't think that they ran the ball all that great against us last year. I can't remember because the game was just so fucking crazy and it didn't end until 3 a.m. and shit. You know, all the crossing routes and all that kind of shit. It seems that Livingston's got a hold on that. Again, the second half Colorado Buffalo defense this year has been outstanding. The first half Colorado Buffalo defense this year has been poo-poo. So if they can play that bad in the first halves and then they can play that good in the second halves, why can't we just fucking play that good the whole time? So that's going to be really the key is can we put 4 quarters together on defense and then make adjustments that go and start the game fast and then adjust and get even better rather than start the game slow and be, oh my God, we're behind or we're slow and then adjust. That's going to get played out eventually. So
last year they outrushed CU 102-70. I mean, it was majorities. I mean, they had 397 passing yards to 348 for Colorado. So
yeah, so both teams were just air raiding it the whole fucking time.
Take that as you will, exactly. But yeah, I think it'll be an interesting game. Horton's going to play probable. So that
I want him to play. We want your best players on the field. I know I despise CSU on a cellular level, but if you do not respect these people and walk in ready to play, they'll beat the shit out of you.
Hell yeah.
They will fuck you up. And they're not punks. There's a bunch of Colorado kids on that team that are pissed off CU didn't recruit them. Because that's always the narrative. They deny it, but then they're like, yeah, CU didn't recruit me and pissed me off. I went to CSU. Like, yeah, I know why. So look, bro, this game is personal for them because, again, they're not on the schedule next year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is the last opportunity to go whip that ass and shear a sheep, and we got to take advantage of it. And Colorado hasn't been to fucking Fort Collins in I don't know, since 96 or some shit. So, I don't know what it's like to play up there. I never played there. So it'll be a unique experience regardless. And I'm excited about it because it's the next one and it's another rivalry game. It's going to be really intense again. It won't be the same as Nebraska, but it'll be intense. And then, we'll see what happens moving into the Big 12 schedule in Baylor. Do they have a bye week after CSU?
Believe so. Their buys are on October 5th and November 2nd, I want to say.
Yeah, so they buy after CSU, right?
After UCF.
They buy after UCF. Okay.
After UCF and then after Cincinnati.
All right. So they have a bye before Kansas State. So honestly, you want to be 4-1, worst 3-2 going into the Kansas State game at home. Because that's going to be a big one too, because that if you don't know shit about Colorado football, you wouldn't know that that's a huge rivalry, but it's a mad rivalry and it's huge. And Kansas State recruits the fuck out of the state of Colorado, and they would like nothing more than to come here and get a dub. So that's that, I guess.
Yeah. Well, there you have it, man. Let's go ahead and wrap this show up.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
I'm trying to figure out how to work my computer. Joey B. Did Sonny Lib recruit you to Colorado? Niwot kid. He did. He recruited the shit out of me. But I didn't want to play Colorado State. I wanted to be a Buff. So it was a very easy no, but it was a respectful no. And I remember him saying to me, well, if you go to CU, we're just going to have to beat your ass every year at the beginning of the year. And I was like, okay, coach, it's on. So like that, the amount of respect I have for Sonny Lubick and the way he did things up there is one of the reasons I have such a lack of respect for the way they do things now, because he was straight class and straight professional, and he developed NFL players, and his teams were tough as fuck. And if you didn't show up ready, then Morgan and Eric Piers or Clint Oldenburg or Cecil Sapp or McDougal or David Anderson or Holland or, fucking Bradley Van Pelt's bitch ass would embarrass you. So, that's what this game is, bro. They're going to try and go embarrass Colorado, and they hate us because they ain't us, but they damn sure hate us. So remember that hate is a more powerful emotion than love.
Yep.
Love makes you sit back and be like, oh, this is awesome. Hate motivates me to fuck someone up. And that, I'm telling you, that is more motivating in a lot of cases than the whole, I love these guys. Fuck these motherfuckers. It's sheep week.
Yeah, exactly. Brother, I'm with you. Hey, you got any closing thoughts before we close it out here?
Yeah, I just want to reiterate, Colorado fans, and all 33, 14, we're still going up. We appreciate the shit out of everybody watching.
Yeah.
If you want me to grill Bucky, I don't know how I can grill him any harder. I just literally asked him a question he couldn't answer.
Yeah.
I don't see anybody else asking those motherfucking questions. So I love my program. I love them to death. I'm praying that, they let me come up there and teach these guys how to sing the real fight song, and then they'll want to sing that motherfucker every week. Maybe the reason they don't really care is because they don't understand what it really is. Fuck! I've been screaming this for like a year.
Yeah.
So look, dog, just go take care of business this week. Go mop up CSU, but don't think it's going to be a fucking ass kicking. I don't know what's the spread right now, like 10.
Fuck. Let me
look it up real quick. Not to put you on the spot, Bailey.
All good.
And look, dog, without you, this show doesn't operate. So you're doing a fucking great job. Just to understand. Before you came on, I couldn't figure out how to fucking post a goddamn show, let alone have a quality show. So I appreciate the fuck out of you, B. Keep it up.
No, I appreciate you. The spread.
Colorado.
What's up?
7.5 points.
Colorado's right now on DraftKings 7-point favorites.
I would take CSU at plus 7.5.
You take CSU's plus 7.5.
This game is going to be into the fourth quarter. They are not going to quit. We are not going to just beat the shit out of them. This is not Texas against Colorado State to open the year in Austin. It's just not happening. They got right last week, destroying Northern Colorado, who isn't very good, but they're getting better under Coach Lamb.
True. If
you actually think that CU is going to go up there and beat them by 4 touchdowns, I hope they do. I hope they fucking kill them by 4 touchdowns, but I just know this game. Last year I bought into they're going to kill them hype, and I was sitting there chewing my fucking fingernails to the bone until Shador went out and pulled a rabbit out of his hat. So hopefully that's not what it takes this year, but you know what? If that's what it takes, then that's what 2 does. So everybody has bad games. In college, it is amplified by 1 million rather than the NFL. In the NFL, they just kind of brush it off and move on to the next week. And that's what I would encourage CU fans to do. Take your ass beating, tip your cap, brush it off, support your team, or don't come back when it gets good. I'm almost not allowing it. Fuck you. If you're going to just bandwagon hop left and right and play both sides, that sounds like some ex-wife shit. And an ex-wife suck. And I know you don't know this, Bailey, but that's some ex-wife shit right there. Playing both sides, need everything fucking to fit your goddamn narrative, blah, blah, blah. Nah, fuck all that.
Yeah, that's very fair. I'm not arguing with you on that. Man, it's all of 3,500 people in here. We cannot thank you enough for watching. That was a great interview. Obviously, we had Deion Jr. on, asked him the tough questions. I mean, for those who didn't think those questions were hard, go back and re-listen.
He couldn't even answer the damn question.
He couldn't answer. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like that you can't get a harder question than that.
What do you want me to ask? Hey, did you walk in there with a bat and just start pummeling everybody's ass today for sucking? No, that's not what. Okay, cool. Never mind.
Exactly.
You guys already think I'm crazy as fuck. I mean, if I say anything, then, oh my God, this guy's fucking nuts.
Yeah, you know that shit.
If I coach too hard, the soccer moms get involved. Like, I was on the lower field and I heard Coach McChesney and it was unbelievable. And we can't have this in Highlands Ranch. Oh my God. It's fucking Christ, dog.
I can only imagine, dog. Fuck. Then go ahead and become a member. The 35, almost 3,600 people in here watching. We cannot thank you all enough. Go ahead and become a member of the Dungeon family for only $2.99. Matt, we're going to get out some film breakdowns and more exclusive content. Anyway, they said it. They said it, not you. So go ahead and become a member for some more exclusive content. Film breakdowns and other stuff from 6 Year Academy. Man, we'll go ahead and see you guys tomorrow. Can't thank you all enough for watching. Man, see you tomorrow. Peace.
Have yourself a great